YouTube, what is going on? Today we're going to be breaking down a high ticket sales call that closed for $3,000, so $300 in commission in about 30 to 35 minutes. This call was done by one of my coaches inside of my program, Cole. But I feel like showing you guys a different perspective to show you how copy and paste it can be is super beneficial. So in this call, I'm going to break down exactly what I think he did right, what he could have done better, and just how he ultimately sealed the deal for the sale and made $300 in 30 minutes. I'm going to jump onto my laptop and let's get into this review.
Yeah. And then just help me understand, like, what was it that kind of attracted your attention to actually want to book a call here today?
Why is he on the call? That's the first thing you need to know. What actually motivated him to go out and reach out and book a call with us in the first place?
I've been looking at doing something in high ticket sales for quite a long time, and I haven't actually gone forward with it. So I thought that
when you say a long time, what do you mean by that?
Probably since about January. I thought about it for a start, and then I was like, no, it can't be real. So I pushed it away, and then some other stuff came up. So and then now I've got a bit more time, so I thought, well, we can give it a go. See.
Currently working a job, or what are you doing for a living?
I have got an apprenticeship in engineering at the minute.
Okay, how's that?
Yeah, I'm not liking it too much, to be honest.
Okay, I guess
one thing I would have maybe done differently is instead of jumping right into what he does right now, I would have hit on the pain points that he just talked earlier. I would have asked the question like, so what changed right now? What made you want to get into this program right now rather than just keep doing what you're doing and just keep holding it back? But other than that, this call is perfect so far.
What makes you say that you don't like it?
The working environment's very dirty, and
okay,
they've not got a lot of progression there to be.
Right. Okay. How long has that been going on for? Like, you just haven't been enjoying the job?
I had to do training for 7 months to start with, and now I've just gone back to the company. So the training was all right, but the company stuff is a bit like it's not the best.
Okay, like, not the best. that
No.
doesn't really clear up a lot for me. What does that actually mean?
When I go there, it makes me feel drained.
Drained. Okay.
So yeah.
Just from like the manual labor, or like what aspect?
And so this is something Cole's really good at. Is he's really good at probing and getting a physical, actual pain. Because this prospect right here might not even know his exact pain. What about your job specifically makes you not like it? Oh, I feel groggy. My boss is annoying. Whatever the case may be, he's getting a specific pain point that this prospect might not have even thought about. It's just really digging those pain points so that he knows he needs to make a change.
Mentally and physically, both.
Okay. I guess how long has that been going on for? Where you felt that way?
About a month, 3 weeks-ish, probably.
Okay, so
since I've gone back, so.
You haven't gone back?
No, since I've gone back.
Oh,
so
okay,
yeah.
All right, and then over these past 3 weeks, like, you continuing to work the job, even though
yeah,
kind of taking a toll on you. Like, what impact has it actually had on you though, just staying in the job?
It doesn't make me feel good at all. I want more, but I don't think that's going to give me it, if you know what I mean.
Right. Well, I mean, is that a life that you're willing to settle for? Like, just continuing to work the job? Well,
No.
Why not, then? Because a lot of people do, pretty much everyone does.
He's making him settle and realize that if he doesn't make a change and he doesn't actually change something in his life, what is going to happen? Because a lot of people end up settling for this life, so why doesn't he want to? If he doesn't actually sit there and make a physical change and get over the line, nothing's going to change for him. He's going to keep sitting at this miserable job.
I've always tried to make my own money.
Right.
Well, I say always, since about 14, so six years with a year gap in between. I've made my own money, not fully, but I've made my own money on the side. And
I see. Okay, so I guess what's the motivation behind like seeking out more advanced training and placement rather than just like doing what you have been and like hoping that you see results?
Well, I haven't actually been taking action, and action's the only thing that you need to do. So if I can take some action, then
awesome. So in terms of like actually taking action and getting the help that you need, like what results are you actually looking to get out of getting into?
I'd like to make it either a job or.
So once he found kind of his pain points and his actual, reason that he wants to change, he's going to find his goals. What's the goal that he's trying to look for to see if we can even help in the first place, right? He's basically just figuring out exactly everything about this prospect, the pains, the goals, so that we can tailor our solution exactly to him.
Out of my job with it, I was wanting to do it to get into sales to start with, and I know it's got good earning potentials and.
Right. When you say earning potentials and like where you want to be, what does that kind of look like?
He's getting a tangible goal, okay? Whenever you're finding the prospect's goal, you can't just have, I want to make more money or I want a new car. No. You need a specific actual goal. So he's basically probing to get that actual goal before he can move on to the next point.
Well, currently with this, in 3 years, I'd be on 50,000 a year. And with this, you can be on, well, it depends how much effort you put in, and I'd be putting in quite a lot of,
Exactly. I mean, it's all based on skill set, right? Skill set plus opportunity. So Right. I mean, you getting to that point where you're able to hopefully quit the job and hopefully a lot more than 50K per year. Like, what's behind you actually wanting to do that? Because, like I said, a lot of people are completely okay with just continuing to work their jobs.
Um, my dad's also an engineer, and he comes home from work and he's not happy half the time, and
Right.
I don't want to have the same life. I want to have more opportunities to be able to work from, like, go to a different place and work from there, or location freedom. And I know it's everyone says location freedom, time freedom, and you're working more than actually
Yeah.
be in a job.
What does
But
that actually look like for you, though? Like, what does the location and time freedom look like for you?
so for me, it would be that I would be able to like work from wherever I want. So I like traveling, so I'd be able to go somewhere, be able to pay for to stay there, work while I'm there, and then in my time
Right.
off, instead of being sat at home, I'd be able to go and visit the places I've always wanted to.
Right, man. Cool. And like, how?
So he's really putting him in the scenario that if this did end up working out and you put all the time and effort in and you ended up making what you want, what is your life going to look like? He's going to be able to see, he's going to be able to feel that life that he's always wanted, but knowing that he's not going to take action, he's never going to be able to get to that life.
How long have you wanted to do all these things for? Like, quit your job, be able to have that time freedom, location freedom.
For a long time, I were doing shoe reselling, and I thought, well, that was never like, oh, I can make this a full-time thing.
Right.
But from that, it's been like, I can do something online that makes me money and that I can
Right.
bring forward and do full-time.
I understand.
So-
And go ahead.
So I'd say I've been thinking more about something properly full-time for about a year.
Okay, cool. And then, like, in your current situation, just be honest with me. Like, do you feel like those goals and where you want to be, like, is that a possibility?
Yes. Well, not with what I'm currently doing, no, because I'd have to be working and I'd get probably 5 weeks off a year, which wouldn't let me do what I want to do.
So with his current situation and everything he's doing right now, is the goal going to be attainable that he just painted out for Cole? Is that goal ever going to be attainable with what he's doing if he doesn't take action? He's just getting the prospect to say, no, it's never going to happen unless I personally take action. The whole point of sales is to get the prospect to say what you want to hear, okay? You never want to tell the prospect that, you know, my product is the best. You know, if you don't take action, you're never going to get there. The prospect needs to say that. So the whole point is asking probing questions to get the prospect to realize that if he doesn't get over the line, he's never going to make it.
Right. And, like, not being able to do what you want to do just because of your job. Like, is that something that you're willing to let stand in your way?
Well, I want to be able to. I don't want it to stand in my way, no.
Right. Cool, man. So over this past year or so that obviously you've been wanting to do all these things with the job, right? I guess, what have you done in terms of, like, investing into more advanced training?
Not much. Nothing at all, really. I haven't spent any money in investing in sales training or any sort of training. I've just been watching the free videos on YouTube and stuff.
Okay. And then I guess just using, like, the free stuff, has that, like, really gotten you the results?
No, because I haven't actually applied it. I've just been, like, watching it and writing it down, but then when it comes to actually applying something, I've not known what to do. So I've not known the first steps or.
Yep. I see. I guess, what do you feel like has possibly prevented you from actually investing into, like, an advanced skill set, like, in the past?
We're about 10 minutes into the call and we've gotten so much information on this prospect. We've gotten pain, we've gotten goals, and basically at this point we're figuring out what has held him back from making some sort of investment to change his life in the past. Basically what this is doing is it's pre-handling his objections so that at the end of the call, he's not going to have them, okay? And a lot of prospects do end up still having objections, but they've already said to themselves that they need to make some sort of change, so it's a lot easier for them to get over the line once you pre-handle these objections.
Spend money on something. I want to know. Well, I know that if you buy it, you've got to put the hard work in, which I get. But if I don't want to buy it and then it be a waste of money.
Right. I see. So
even
it
if
comes down to, like, the discipline aspect of it, right?
No. If I don't want I don't want to pay money for something and then do the work, and then the thing that I've bought is still not good enough, even though I've put the work in for it.
Okay, I see. So that's what you feel like has prevented you from investing, just like this uncertainty?
Yeah, and the fact that they all some of them seem way too expensive for what they are.
I see. I guess.
And so at the end of the day, you can kind of tell that he's just a little bit uncertain that this program is going to help him get to where he actually wants to go, that this is going to be the program for him rather than, you know, all the other people out there. So we have an exact attainable reason why he might not buy in the future, so we have to handle that objection before we can pitch the program.
When you say, like,
Is included in the course. So some courses are like, oh, you get these 12 videos and then you pay £4,000 for these 12 videos and your whole world is going to change. And I don't see how 12 videos is going to make your whole world change. So
yeah, I totally see that, man. And, you know, in your situation, man, like, where is this way of thinking of kind of like putting off getting the help? Like, where has that actually gotten you, though?
no way, it's taking me backwards.
Right, man. And just be real with me. I mean, you've been very open so far. Like, what actually happens if you possibly continue to allow this way of thinking to like prevent you from ever getting the skills you need? Like, do you think you'll actually see a change?
If I keep not taking action, then nothing will change, because the action is the only thing that enables change.
Right. And so what do you need to overcome so that these next 6 months to a year don't look like what you have been experiencing lately?
I need for me, it's like.
And notice how the whole reason we ask these questions is just to get the prospect to think, to actually genuinely think. Like, notice how this prospect is actually thinking about stuff that he's never even thought about before. You know what I mean? Like, he's genuinely thinking about what is going to happen if he doesn't make a change. He's probably never had someone ask these sort of questions. So these deep hitting questions are so vital in getting people over the line. We have his pain points, we have his goal, we have his gap, and right now we're just figuring out why he might not end up making the investment on this call.
It's the start. So if I can start something and know which direction I need to go, then I'll be able to do it. It's just the starting of it, what I need to do at the start, and what the next steps are.
Right. Okay. I see. In terms of actually getting started, right?
Yeah.
What do you feel like you would need out of a program / community? Like, what do you feel like would be important for your success?
So we're literally asking, what do you feel like you need to be able to get to that dream desired outcome that you just explained to us? What do you genuinely need? And then we just tailor the pitch to whatever exactly he needs.
Well, for this, you need something to do with mock calls, so you know what you're doing well and what you can improve on, and where to actually get started with looking for job opportunities for it, because there's things posted everywhere, but half of them are like not at all, and
right.
Scamming, like you get 50% commission for this, and it's just not realistic, is it? So
yeah. I guess when you say like being trained in the mock calls and that kind of stuff, like how would you actually like to be trained on that? Hopefully more than 50K per month, or not per month, 50K a year, being able to quit that job, all these kind of things, and like you getting to that point in your life, like how would things be different at that level? Besides just more so like the tangible things, like for you personally, how would it be different to get to that point?
Like what I'd feel, or
and like you getting, you said you have been wanting to, and we looked upon 6 months to a year from now and nothing's changed. Now, is that life? Is that a choice or is that a problem?
It's a choice and a problem, because I'd have chosen not to take action, and the problem would be that I would be still in the same position that I was 6 months ago. Or
right.
You can't sit.
Right, but in this situation, would there be any problem if we had made the choice?
Oh, so if I'd taken action and attempted this for 6 months.
Right. If you had made the conscious decision and made the choice to actually go all in on yourself.
Yeah.
Then would you be experiencing a problem?
No, I don't think so, because I'll be trying.
Right. Cool, man. So let's kind of.
And so for certain stuff like this, especially on B2C, I would reword these questions a little bit different to make them more digestible. But overall, he gets the point across of, if you were to take an action 6 months ago, do you feel like you'd even be having these problems now? No. So what do you feel like you need to do? So the whole point is just to get him to say that he hasn't taken action. And if he were to done this 6 months ago, he probably would be in a lot better position.
Show you a little bit around what we do. I know you were kind of telling me a little bit about what you feel like is.
So at this point, 15 minutes in the call, it only takes 15 minutes. We got so much info from this prospect. We have everything we need at this point to pitch the program. We have his pain, we have his desires, we have the reason he hasn't done this in the past, we have what his life's going to look like if he does do this. So now we have enough evidence to pitch him the program and actually help him get over that line. I can't show the product, but once we go through this, basically asking for the investment.
Over can actually help you, get to those 50K years hopefully and be able to quit that job that we talked about.
Yeah.
Okay, I guess why do you feel like it can though in your situation?
I've got.
And one thing I would have done is I would have gone over the 50K a year. I would have kind of expanded that goal, because 50K a year is so doable in this industry that we're selling. So I would definitely have said something like 100K a year, something like that. But regardless, everything else besides that is perfect.
The only real thing I do is I go to work and I go to the gym. So in all that other time, I can be working on this. So I've got time and I want to do it. So I don't see why I couldn't.
Awesome. So in terms of like investment and everything to actually get you started, pretty much what we would do is we process a one-time investment of 3K. That would give you full-time access, like I talked about, to literally everything we just went over. We would process the investment, get you started, onboarded everything, and you'd be able to start working as soon as today. But do you have any questions on how that works?
How does it work? Does it just send over a link to the email and then you do it by that?
All right. So pretty much.
Something I would say, instead of any questions, because that's just going to bring up any objections, is I would just say, how do you want to proceed from here? That's just something simple. How do you want to proceed from here? We take credit, debit, crypto. How do you want to proceed from here? That's something that I would say just to not raise any objections or questions.
What we would do it is I just collect some card details and we would run the payment right here on the call just to make sure it goes through. And then, like I said, I'll help you with the onboarding.
It wouldn't go through because I don't have that amount of money in my account, and I've got the savings account. It takes, I think it's 3 business days to come out. So.
Okay, so let me just understand here. Is it more like just uncertainty, or is it that literally we just don't have that amount in the account right now?
Don't have that amount in the account.
Okay, so
So I would kind of go through a little bit of an uncertainty handle because he probably does have the investment in his account. He's just a little bit unsure. So I'd probably go through a reframe of to be honest with me, I mean, do you really feel like this is the program for you? Do you feel like everything we went over can even get you to those 5-6K months in the first place? But yeah, I'd be like, why? I would say that before I ask the question of, so is it uncertainty or is it just you literally don't have the investment? And obviously objections are going to come up, even though we pre-handled them a little bit. Objections are always going to come up. So this is pretty much the part of handling the objections and finalizing that payment.
Would it make more sense in your situation if we were able to like break up the payments or something?
How much would you be able to break it up? Because I've got some training for skydiving I need to pay for, which is quite expensive as well.
Yeah, I got you. So I know you said you have money like in your savings and everything.
Yeah.
I guess in terms of like what's in your checking, what would you be able to do? Like I say, like we don't want to put
Let
you
me
in
check.
that position. But
Yeah, I'd only have enough left for the month, so
okay.
I didn't realise I had so little.
Let
me check.
But
Yeah.
I have a better understanding.
I wouldn't be able to do anything this month because I need to pay that on Monday, so I'd only have enough left for the month, so
Okay.
I didn't realise I had so little.
What's that then?
I've got okay, but the skydiving's 1,800, so I have 200 left for the month, which would
Okay.
be enough. So
And then all the other money is in like your savings, is what you said?
yeah, but it'll take a few days to come out. So I can't get to it.
So at this point, I mean, most people probably quit. Oh, I can't get to it, don't have the money. But this is the difference between A players and B players. We don't take no for an answer. So as you guys can see how this call is going to pan out.
Press our process within 3 business days, it says.
Okay.
You can see up there. So
Okay. Yeah, that's not a problem. So what we can do, like I said, I know you said you have a little bit left in your checking or whatever. So what we can do as of now is we can put down just a deposit right now. Because I understand, you got to process the savings, all that kind of stuff. Put down a small deposit right now, and then we'll be able to process the rest of the payment on Wednesday or whenever it will come through.
it's just quite a lot.
But man, in terms of like the money and everything, like money out of the equation, is this something that you would?
I would do it if money wasn't an object. Yeah.
Right. So do you feel like maybe you being tight on the funds or not having the money, do you feel like that's a problem, or do you feel like that's a symptom of the problem?
So at this point, we know he has the money. He has something to put down, but he's just scared. He's just uncertain that this is going to help him get to where he wants to go. So we're sitting here doing objection handling again.
It would probably be a symptom of
Right. Well, it's a symptom at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
Because if you
Yeah.
had the advanced skill set of sales,
Yeah.
and you had the right opportunity, what would come with it?
money.
The money. So in your situation, Jake, like genuinely, which is riskier? You can stay where you're at, continue to work the job that you said you hate, and just say, "Oh, I don't have the money," or like
Yeah.
overcoming the hurdle of not having the money and actually aiming to get the skills and health you need to ultimately do all those things that we talked about. Like,
Yeah.
which is riskier?
Sticking realistically, isn't it?
Right. So just help me understand. I mean, you've been very transparent with me so far. Like, is it more so just uncertainty, right, about putting some amount down, or is it just purely
It's something deep inside.
So that frame I would have done at the beginning of the call because it probably would have saved 5 to 6 minutes. But we got to it eventually because obviously he does have the money. He has something to put down, but he's just still a little bit uncertain.
That says it's a lot of money. You don't know what you're going to be getting,
right?
and
Wait, so who says you don't know what you're going to be getting though?
me, something inside me says that. But
Right.
I've still
it's
I'm
fair
going
to
to be
say.
getting. I know,
So it's uncertain. We've already showed him the program. We know exactly what he's going to get. We've been over this 5 times. He's just uncertain. It's just a simple uncertainty fear that he needs to get over.
yeah,
What you're looking for is certainty, right?
yeah. I know, and you need to make uncomfortable decisions, and I don't know, something about.
Right. I understand that, and I know you said you have to make the uncomfortable decision, right? Because where is making the comfortable decision? Because I mean, we can look back the past 6 months to a year, putting off getting the right mentor, putting off actually taking that action, right? I understand, man. I completely understand. I was in your position at once, investing into sales training. Like the comfortable decision is just going away and not doing anything about it.
Yeah.
But like, where has making the comfortable decision? Where has that actually gotten you as of now?
Sat right here.
Right, man. And just be honest, like, what actually do you genuinely believe happens if you continue to allow this way of thinking to determine what you get the health you need?
Well, the things that are in my head as dreams would not happen.
And but unfortunately, I mean, you're sort of on a bridge at this point.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
On one side is where you want to be, right? Making all that money, being able to quit the job, and where you are today, right? Stuck where you are, continue to work the job that you hate, and all that's in between is really just action and commitment to actually get to the other side, right? And I can't make that commitment for you. No one that your family, your parents can make that commitment for you. It's up to you, right? And if you would actually back yourself and you would try, now the question is like, what would you do if you knew you wouldn't fail?
If I couldn't fail, then it's a no-brainer. You'd do it, wouldn't you?
Right, exactly. But how would you ever know, right? How would you ever know if you never actually tried in the first place? Because what has been the thing that's been happening in the past is just never actually trying, right?
Yeah.
Now, when it comes to making a decision, man, usually 2 things are coming up. Either we're pushing for pleasure or we're running from pain. And I understand, like, what I'm asking from you is a big investment. I'm not saying that it's not, man. But also you getting to the point in your life where you're able to hopefully quit that job, have that time, location freedom, that life that we talked about.
Yeah.
I understand that the investment is a big step, but also getting to that point is a big step for you, right?
Yeah.
But like I said, how will you ever know? How will you ever know if you never actually take the action to do it?
So this is the simple bridge reframe. It's very simple. You literally just have to memorize these word tracks so that every single time this comes up, you know exactly what to say in the situation. And it's going to be the difference between you collecting cash and making commissions and you not. And also that you're helping this person get over the line. This dude is never going to change his life unless he actually takes action. So it's beneficial for everyone.
It
Yeah.
takes to get there. You won't, right?
No, you wouldn't.
So the thing is, man, like either, we draw a line in the sand today and we can work together to actually get you to that point, right? Work together to get you to that level. Or the other side of this is you just, crumble back off and you go back to what you've been experiencing over the past year, which isn't a problem, man. You can do that. And a lot of people
Yeah.
do. But it's up to you whether you want to stay on one side or actually get to the other. And so just for 1 second, man, I want you to start thinking like the 2.0 version of yourself, the version of Jake who's already making that kind of money. He's already quit his job. He's chilling on a beach, right? He's taking sales calls.
Yeah.
I want you to start thinking like him. What do you feel like he does in this situation? Does he put off getting the training that he needs because it's too much, because it's comfortable, right? Or does he actually take the steps and commit to himself to get there? What do you feel like he does?
He would probably take the training because he needed to take the training to get to where he was.
Would he probably do the training, or would he?
No, he would do the training.
Right now, I mean, and if you would step into his shoes, the question you have to ask yourself is, what do you feel like is the best decision that you can make? So whenever you leave this call, you put your head on the pillow at night. You've done everything in your absolute possibility to ensure that life for yourself. Like, what decision do you feel like you need to make in this situation?
Probably to get the course.
Right. So what are you gonna do, man?
I've got a question. So I have requested to change my bank account.
Okay.
So if I give you the card details from my old card, would that transfer over? Or
So all of a sudden, magically, he has another card that has a little bit of money on it. So this is a great example of you just have to get over his uncertainty, let him understand that if he doesn't take action, nothing's going to work. Cole ended up making $300 in commissions in this 36-minute call. So you guys obviously saw what happened there. We're not magicians. We don't just have some secret sauce. It's literally just memorizing word tracks, understanding what the prospect needs, and then helping them get over the line. It's very simple, but hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. It's also a coach inside of my program, Paid in Full. He helps students get better at sales while I basically help you guys get on offers. We hire for over 160 influencers every single month. So if you guys want sales training and guaranteed job opportunities, apply to Paid in Full down below. But other than that, thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned something, and I'll see you guys in a few days.